Welcome back to my channel. It is Summer K here on YouTube, Fitspiration by Summer if you follow me on Instagram, and Summer_KAYY if you follow me on TikTok. Alright, so in today's video we're going to be talking about something that is a very common issue and what we can do to fix it, and that is going to be why your butt isn't growing and what you can do about it. Alright, so before we get into the video, please make sure that you guys are subscribed if you haven't already subscribed. Make sure that you give the videos a thumbs up so that YouTube knows to suggest it to somebody that might be interested in it or looking for this. And we are going to go ahead and we're going to get into the video. Alright, so I get a lot of people that come to me and they tell me that their butt isn't growing, they don't know what they're doing, they're eating, they're squatting, etc., but they're not seeing progress. So before we even get to this video, let me just start by saying anything where you have to build is the same as when you have to lose weight. It takes time, it takes trial and error, and most importantly, it takes consistency. So you have to keep doing it and give it time to work before you just dismiss it and say, hey, this is not helping me. In the video is some issues that come around whenever people are trying to grow the lower half of their body, because it is a lot harder than people may think, and it's hard to maintain as well. So if you guys have any questions, make sure that you leave them below in the comments. If I answer any of your questions in this video, make sure that you let me know. And if you want me to go in a little bit more depth, just let me know in the comments and I'll do a video that's going to cover some of the questions that you guys are asking after this. Alright, so reason number one on why your butt is not growing is going to sound a little bit contradictory, but it is something that a lot of people don't think about, which is you squat too much. And what I mean by that is that you are just doing squats, and you're doing a lot of squats, but you're not doing a variation. So whenever you're doing just squats, especially if they're just body weight squats, it's working, you know, your butt is working, your core is working, your back. But if you're just doing like air squats, eventually it's just going to be getting your heart rate up. It's going to be like doing some type of HIIT training. It's not going to actually grow the muscle. It's going to tone, it's going to lift your butt, but it's not going to grow and give you the results that you actually want. That is why a lot of squat challenges don't necessarily work. So squats will do some good results in a short amount of time. If you really want to get your lower half to grow, then you have to do more than just squats. You have to do things that are going to target every area of the butt. So like I said, squats work more than just your butt. It works your core, it works your back, it works your thighs, it works your hamstrings. So it is a compound movement, which is just saying that it works multiple muscles at the same time. So you want to do things that are going to isolate the butt muscles and the different butt muscles, because there's more than just, you know, one muscle of the butt. And I have a lot of videos that show isolation exercise. The video that I just posted this past Monday actually shows how to do isolation exercises at the beginning of the video, so make sure that you guys check that out if you haven't. But it includes things like kickbacks, glute bridges, hip thrusts, hip abductions, clams, where you're basically working on that hip area. All of those are isolation exercises, and if you look at my videos that I post, I do a lot of those because they are the key to growing and maintaining a wider bottom. Alright, so if you are just doing squats, if you're doing squat challenges and you're not doing anything extra other than air squats, then I'm gonna need for you to switch it up. Go ahead and look at my Slim Thick playlist, because I have some videos that are showing exercises that you can do to help it grow in the lower half of the area. Number two is gonna piggyback off of what I just said from doing air squats. Number two would be not using enough weight. So if you don't have any equipment at home, that is perfectly fine, but you have to go in line with your goals. So if you're trying to grow it, then you need to add some weight to it, because your butt is a muscle, and whenever you're trying to grow anything, you have to overload it. So in the current situation that we in, I know that's pretty hard because a lot of gyms, like my gym, for example, still is not open. So we can't necessarily go to the squat rack and lift heavy weight. During the pandemic, you should make resistance bands your best friend. Again, I have a lot of videos over, and those loop bands that I use are key to maintaining my lower half. So there's 5 different resistance levels. It's from Sports Research or Sweet Sweat. If you guys don't know, that is who I work with. So of course there will be a link in the description box where you can get it at a discounted rate. But basically you want to get something like that so that it can go in line with your goals, because it goes from being light to extra heavy. So depending on how you're trying to do it is going to depend on what resistance band you need to be using. If you're trying to grow your muscles, then of course you need to be using on the heavier side, and you need to make sure that you are really squeezing and overloading that muscle. They also have what they call hip bands, which I've also done in a video. Those are thicker and they work a lot more. They're heavy duty. So that's what I use right now to try to maintain, you know, the glutes that I do have. But I also love using those resistance bands for those isolation exercises, because those two together is what's going to get you the results that you want to get. The main thing is just to make sure that you are adding weight. So if you are in the gym and you're doing like 15 to 20 reps, then you need to increase that weight to where you're doing 8 to 10 reps, because that's what's going to help you grow that muscle. Another thing that you can do is ankle weights. You can get the ankle weights from like anywhere, honestly, from Walmart or like Five and Below or somewhere like that, and put them on your ankles and do things like donkey kicks, hip abductions, the same thing that I said in solution number 1 you should be doing in solution number 2. Make sure that you are adding weight to it, because again, that is gonna work that muscle. And I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys right now, it's gonna burn. It's probably gonna hurt. Like whenever I do hip abductions, it still burns, because my hips for some reason are just not the strongest area in my body. But I do them because it gives me the results that I want. So the main thing is just to make sure that you are staying consistent with it. It will get easier, and then you'll add more weight, and then you'll start to see the growth. The main thing is just make sure you give it time and stay consistent. If you are in the gym and you do not want to just use like the squat rack, for example, if you look at my videos, you can use the cable machine. I love the cable machine because you don't have to go anywhere. You can do a whole bunch of exercises with that one cable machine. You can use different attachments. You can adjust the weight the way that you want to. So that is a key for isolation exercise. If you're in the gym and you don't want to use a resistance band, go find the cable machine. Look at some of my videos that I have and apply those to your workouts, and I promise you'll see some results. Number 3 would be something that a lot of people don't think about, and if they are doing it, they're not doing it correctly. So number 3 would be you're not eating enough. A lot of times when people are trying to grow, they're usually smaller, so they're not used to having to eat more. They don't understand that, like, you have a high metabolism. So you can't just eat what you want. You have to make sure that you're eating according to your goals. But if you are, you have to make sure that you are consuming more than you burn, because when you consume more than you burn, that's what comes for that weight gain. So whenever you hear like gym people use the term bulking, that's basically what they're saying, is that they're eating more than they consume. They're gonna turn that extra fat into fuel and use it to how they want to use it. Now let me just say, you cannot spot train, okay? So whenever you are eating more and you are trying to grow, you're gonna get a little bit more fluff in areas that you might not wanna have more fluff in. But the key is to make sure that you are still going in line with your goals. So make sure that you're still doing your cardio, make sure that you're lifting heavy, because as you burn, as you grow that muscle, you are going to burn at rest too. So it's gonna keep your stomach slim, it's gonna keep your lower half wider, the way that you wanna do it. But you have to make sure that you're eating according to your goals. You need to make sure that you're eating enough protein, you need to make sure that you're eating enough carbs, and you need to make sure that you're eating enough fat. So I do have a video talking about the differences between carbs, fat, protein, veggies, that type of stuff. You guys can go check that out. But if you want me to do one specifically for weight gain, of course, I will do that too. I'll just have to make it a completely separate video from this one. If you don't really pay attention to what you eat, the easiest thing I would say to do is to download a tracker and track your food for at least 2 weeks. I get people to use MyFitnessPal because it's the easiest way to track. If you don't know how much like protein or how much calories you need to be eating right now, go to calculator.net. It's free, and then you can just plug in like your age, your weight, everything, and what your goal is, and it'll do all of the work for you. And then you can go to MyFitnessPal and plug in your food and try to get those numbers as similar as possible. Make sure that you take before and after photos too, so that you know that it's working, especially if you don't have a scale, because again, it is going to take time, especially if you're somebody with a high metabolism. Now, if you're somebody that is slimming down, but you want to make sure that you do keep your bottom half, then it's the same thing. You still need to make sure that you're eating enough. You just might not necessarily have to eat more than what you burn. So number 4 is going to kind of piggyback off of number 2, which is that you are probably doing the same exercises. It also goes into number 1. Again, squat challenges. Squat challenges are cool. I have a squat challenge actually, but if you look at the squat challenge, you'll see that it's doing different types of squats. It's not doing the same air squats and then just increasing the reps every day, because that's what you'll usually find. You want to make sure that you're switching it up. You have to make sure that you're not doing the same thing every workout for too long. So what I mean by that is, like, I'll do like a training regimen where I'll do legs 3 times a week. I'll do different types of leg workouts 3 times a week. I might do those same exercises for a few weeks, but every time, like if I work out Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday I might do something that's hamstring focused. Wednesday I'm going to do something that's focused specifically on the glutes. And then Friday I'm going to do something that's focused specifically on the thighs. So that's what I mean by saying don't do the same exercises. Your body has muscle memory. That's why people, whenever they, like for example, me, whenever I got into my car accident, I couldn't work out. When I got back into it and I really got back into being consistent, it was just like riding a bike. Your body is going to remember the type of exercises that you guys do. So you want to make sure that you're switching it up. You want to shock your body so that your body has to adapt to it again, and that's what's going to help attribute to muscle growth. Number 5 would be not training enough. So you need to understand again that consistency is key, okay? You need to make sure that you are being consistent with it. So just like I said, working out 3 times a week, if you're going to do leg 3 times a week, then you need to continue to do legs 3 times a week. If you're doing 1 to 2 times a week and you're trying to grow in the butt area, it's probably not going to do too much if you have not been doing it. But with that being said, number 6 would be do not overtrain. So the easiest thing to do to get you a consistent schedule, that's why I say Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, something to where you are doing it consistently, but you're not doing it back to back, because you have to give your muscles time to rest. So if you're not training it frequently enough, then your muscle is not going to grow, because your body is just going to get used to just doing these workouts a couple of times a week. But at the same time, if you're overtraining it, your body's going to be way too fatigued and your muscles are not going to have time to repair themselves. So along with getting enough sleep, which is where our body repairs itself, if you don't give yourself active rest days, then your body's not going to be able to repair itself. And basically all that growing the muscle is that whenever you're working out and you're overloading that muscle, it's breaking, and then it repairs itself and it grows back stronger or bigger. So that's all that muscles are. That's why you cannot overtrain, or else you're going to fatigue yourself, which is just going to result in further injury. Last but not least, I'm going to say one more time, give it time. So a lot of people will come and they'll want to do a workout program for growing the lower body or gaining weight, and I don't do it for less than 8 weeks, because that's how much time you need to give it to at least see a difference. Now, you are not going to go from how I was when I was really small to where I look like I am now in a matter of a couple of months, but you will see progress. So you have to give it time, you have to stay consistent, and you have to make sure that you are eating enough, you have to make sure that you're training enough, and you have to make sure that you're doing variations in your squats and your lower body workouts, or just your workouts in general. If you do these 7 tips, then you are sure to get the results that you want. I would say to set short-term goals. So set for 2 months, hey, this is where I want to be at, because even though you might not be like at the weight that you want to be at, you might have enough muscle growth to where you see like a real big difference, and it motivates you to continue on. You want to make sure that you're focusing on overall health. So whenever I say make sure that you're eating enough, you want to make sure that you're not eating like bad food. So you know, I'm from the country, so cornbread, collard greens type things to help you gain weight. You don't have to do that, okay? Do healthy carbs, do healthy fats, do good protein, not fried type stuff, because at the end of the day, if you don't do it correctly, you're going to pay for it in the long run, and you're either going to have to start over or you're going to have to repair. So with that being said, I hope that these 7 tips helped you guys. If you have any questions, make sure you leave it in the comments below, and do me a favor, do not forget to like, do not forget to subscribe, and don't forget to share with somebody that might be interested in gaining weight, or might be interested in slimming down the waistline and keeping their lower half a little bit thicker. All right, so thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video.